Hello everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So today I'll make another video on the same series of Docker and container security, and in this video itself I'll try to cover the concept how to get it deploy a blockchain on a Docker itself. So I'll try to cover the stuffs like how to get it, pull it, and what type of blockchain we can build it, and then later phase itself after little bit a practical section, then a concept behind it, how exactly integration. And this is a similar type of previous video where we are just talking about the Gen AI up to some extent, and then later phase itself, if you're aware about, if you worked in a blockchain, then definitely you can get it integrate those sections. So I'm not covering the whole stuffs, how to end to end we have to do it, but the thing is that how to get it deployed and then try to make it a node and then try to get it integrate with your smart contract, working the whole application end to end itself. I'm not covering the whole stuff, but just to make it a node itself, just make it working on a Docker itself, that is the thing I'll just try to get it covered. But if you want it go ahead further with that, then definitely you have to make your small your own smart contract and then try to get it deployed either on a tuffle, or you can use it on a remix ID and then use it to get it integrate with a Docker, and then you can get it integrate and get it utilize that as a test node itself. You can get it used over there. So going further with that, so the first question, how we can start working that section for it. So here's a breakdown on how you can leverage a Docker and the container for the blockchain deployment. Like that's most important. Like normally people are talking about like everything when we are writing a code itself, we have the option of tuffle, we have the option of remix ID, we can deploy the smart contract over there itself. Then how we can leverage the Dockers and the container in case of blockchain development, that we'll try to get it covered over here itself. So choose a blockchain platform, whatever the platform we want to get it utilized in this case. So over here itself we have, like I just have categorized 3 platforms, but the thing is that we have so many platform over there itself. So Ethereum is one of the platform, Hyperledger Fabrics is one of the platform, I can say that Quorum is one of the platform itself, and these are the platform which we can use where we can make the application smart contracts based on it, and then we try to get integrate with our existing where we are deploying that node, making that node itself. Now pulling the Docker image, the second thing which we have to do it, though over here itself I'm using a Diva chain instead of, I don't have anything related to the Ethereum itself. That was the reason I'm using this chain over here itself. I'm just trying to pull it from the Docker hub where we have just pulling it. Once we're done with the pull, then going further with that, we simply have to run it. So use the Docker run command to start a container from the image. You might need to specify additional options depending on the platform itself. So these are the additional options which we're trying to get it identify over there itself. Like we just have to give the name, we are just defining a name to that I can say that image itself which we are giving it, and this is a repository name which we are cloned it already, we have pulled it already. Once we're done with this command, we have run it. Okay, now going further with that, now we are creating a Docker composite file itself. That's one of the things. So create a Docker composite file, which is most important, .yml file itself, which we required it, where we're giving the full configuration of the blockchain, like whatever port, what's the image name, everything we'll try to get it defined over there itself. We are giving in this file, and then we try to get integrate. So what exactly is this YML file? Write a Docker composite file, to define the services configuration for your blockchain network. Like we are building the blockchain network, so that was the reason we are giving the whole description about it. Specify the blockchain platform, consensus algorithm, whatever algorithm you're utilizing it, number of nodes, ports, and other required settings itself, whatever it's getting required for the blockchain to make it a node itself. So this is all about the stuff which you can define it over there itself. I have given a ports also, even the volume itself, what is the image name, I'll give it over there itself, which I have already put it. Going further with that, now we wanted to start a Docker container itself. So use a Docker composite to start the container defined in your Docker composite.yml file. This will spin up the blockchain node and any other required services. So by this way, when you're starting the Docker, then at that case itself, your blockchain node itself will spin out and it will run automatically. So you heard about, like if you're not aware about the blockchain a lot and you are just listening about the blockchain first time, so there are in a blockchain itself, everything is working in the nodes itself. Like this is nothing like a centralized system. It's everything is distributed. We have all the nodes which is get it connected with each other. That's we call it as a node. We are generating one of the node itself, and now on the top of it we are building one smart contract with which we call it as an application based on it, and which we try to get integrate later phase itself. Okay, that is one of the thing. We are starting over here with that node. Now the node is running fine for us. Okay, this is working as per like we have configured that perfectly, and now the next phase is we have to build that application on top of it, either on a remix or a truffle, then try to get integrated with that. So the practical portion is completed. Now we go to the theory portion. Theory portion in the context, like the things which is pending on you. You just have to understand, if you are a blockchain developer, these things are a bit easy for you to make that and then try to get integrated with a Docker. I have just covered the stuff related to, I think 30-35% itself, where we are building the node. Now on the top of it, you have to develop a code on Solidity. If you're talking about the Ethereum, if you're talking about the Rust, you can use the Rust in case of Solana, if you're building the smart contract based on that. So on the basis of that, you try to integrate over here itself. Okay. So configure blockchain network. Configure the blockchain network by connecting the nodes and specifying any additional settings such as Genesis blocks parameter, network ID, or consensus mechanism. These everything will try to get it configure in case of configure the blockchain network. Like when we are defining a node, we are configuring the network also, blockchain network also, to be a part of that node, to be a part of that network. Now going further with that, interact with the blockchain. Once the blockchain network is up and running, you can interact with using of various tools like libraries. For Ethereum, you can use a tool like web3.js or Ethereum JSON-RPC APIs to interact with the blockchain network itself. So you build the application, and when you wanted that to be get it interact, you can utilize few tools over there itself, which we call it as a web3.js. Or other, we can say that JSON-RPC APIs also we can use it to get it interact with your node. That's one of the thing with the network itself. So blockchain network to be get it interact over there itself using these tools only. So individually you can make it, but to get it interacted, you require these tools to be get it place. Deploying smart contract, which we are talking about from the initial phase of this video. This is actually be a code. I can say that code of the application. It's a control. I can say like smart contract is one of the code where we have so many agreements inside of it, so many logic inside of it, and combining all those logics, we call it as a smart contract. Whatever the base, whatever the stuffs, logic we wanted to be get it conducted, everything is coming under the smart contract, and that to be get it deployed on a blockchain. That is one of the things which we are talking about. If you're using a platform like Ethereum, you can deploy smart contract to the blockchain network using tools like Truffle or Remix ID, and then compile your smart contract and deploy them to one of the node in the network itself. So that's one of the thing. You can compile and get it deployed on your one of your node. Now talking about test and the debug, how to do that test and debug, like you have done with that, you have created that, deployed that, now you have to test it. So test your blockchain network and a smart contract to assure they function as expected, like whatever you're looking for it as an objective, whether that whatever the smart contract you are writing it, whether it's appropriately working in such a way or not. Like that is one of the things which is coming in the category of the test and the debug. Use tools like a Ganache is one of the thing where Ganache is one of the tool where I can say that it's a it will provide you a virtual Ethereum over there itself. Like I can say that a testnet environment over there itself, testnet virtual, like I can say that Ethereum we can utilize it directly instead of having an actual Ethereum. You can use it, get it deployed on the Ganache and can use it directly. So integrate with that with your smart contract. You can utilize the same Ganache, whatever the accounts over there itself, that you can utilize it as per your need. To set up a local test network for development and the testing, like just for testing purpose itself, you can utilize the Ganache over there itself in case of Ethereum, and for other section for it, it's definitely you have to use a different type of tools. I'm talking about the Ethereum only. Ganache is one of the tool just for testing purpose. You can utilize it. They are providing a virtual type of virtual, or I can say that a test crypto they are providing to you, and which you can utilize it for the testing, so that you can check like whether everything which you are defining as smart contract, whether it's working appropriately for it and there is no leakage at any point of time. That is one of the things which is coming under the category of the test and the debug. Going further with that, if we're talking about the monitor and the maintenance, so that is also most important. So like we deployed that, and then after that we have to monitor that also whether it's working appropriately or not. It might be possibility some bug is over there, it's in your smart contract which you try to get it deployed on a node, then definitely that to be get it improved, and we have to revise that and we have to deploy it once again the smart contract. So that is one of the things which we can, which we aware about it once we are monitoring it appropriately and maintain it appropriately. And at any point of time, if any attack happen, like taking example 51 attack is over there itself, where 51% of the network is getting consumed by attacker itself, and then at that time the attacker can change the blocks also. So that is one of the thing, if we are monitoring appropriately, we should know like these are the things that are happening, we just have to take immediate actions against that. Regularly update the Docker images and configuration to incorporate the security patches and improvement. That's also one of the things. Like if we talk about the Docker itself, running the nodes over there itself, it should be appropriate. The image should be appropriate, be configured. There is no misconfiguration over there itself. Whatever the latest updates coming over there itself, as per that supported software packages, we have to get it updated as per the need. Now, going further with the configuration, that's coming under the category interact with the blockchain is one of the things. Specific way to interact with your blockchain node will depend on the platform it might involve. So the using the platform command line tools like an API, utilizing a developers libraries or framework for I can say there are problematic interaction itself, that's coming under the category of the interaction with the blockchain. So that's everything is coming under that. So once you have done with a node deployment, that then you have to build a smart contract, then you have to get it integrated over there itself to be get it smart, and then it get it utilized to be maintained, monitor, everything to be covered. And then we are coming under the category of the interact with the blockchain, like when a user is interacting with that through what exactly the medium through which the user can interact it, that's coming under the category of this one. Multi-node network option is also there itself. For a complete blockchain network, you will need or run multiple containers. Each represents a node. Configure them to connect and form a peer-to-peer network. Consult the platform's documentation for specific network configuration steps. That is most important for it. So especially in the context of the multi-node network, we require multiple containers to be get run. We are deploying that multiple nodes to be over there itself, so that we can reach to this point of multi-node network. We have to build that type of network over there itself. I'll read the content once again for you. For a complete blockchain network, like we wanted a full blockchain network itself, you will need to run a multiple containers. Each represents a node. That's like we required a multiple nodes. So for that you have to run a multiple containers so that you can represent multiple containers with multiple nodes. Configure them to connect and form a peer-to-peer network. And consult the platform's documentation for a specific network configuration steps. That's most important. So ultimately we have to achieve this also. This is the optional one, but like as per the need you can do that also. And development and the testing. So whatever development you are doing on a Solidity, if you're talking about the Ethereum, if you're talking about the Rust in case of Solana, so it's totally be like when we are trying to get it deployed, we just have to test it also. So Dockerized blockchain nodes provide a convenient environment for development and the testing. You can easily spin up multiple nodes, experiment with smart contracts, and simulate the network behavior itself. So these things you try to get it achieved in the development and the testing phase, both the ways, using a Docker on a blockchain on a Docker, sorry. Here we are talking about some additional consideration itself which we have to be taking care of it. Resource allocation. So blockchain nodes can be resource intensive. Allocate the sufficient CPU. That's most important. Like you're aware about it, we're talking about the Bitcoin to be get mined. We require a lot of CPU's power. We require the GPU's power over there itself just to reach to that point where we can mine the Bitcoin. So that was the reason even for the applications also to run it as a node itself, you definitely require a lot of consumption over there, a lot of efficiency of your system itself where you're trying to get it deployed as using a Docker. And storage resources to your containers based on your need itself. Like storage totally it's a secondary thing, but the thing is that CPU and the memory is most important over there itself, which you required it just to make the node should be appropriate to be get it perform whatever you need and what actually you're trying to get it achieve. Security. While containers offer some isolation, security best practices and the crucial for blockchain developments, consider using a private Docker registry and access controls for basic controls for your blockchain network. That's one of the thing. Scalability also one of the things. Scaling a blockchain network with a Docker containers might require additional configuration tools like a Docker Swarm or the Kubernetes. These are the things we can utilize it. Like if you're talking about the scalability in case of blockchain to be get it deployed on a Docker, then in that case these are the tools you can get it utilized, and that's feasible over there in case of Docker. Remember, this is a general guide, and the specific steps might vary depending on the chosen blockchain platform. Like whatever the platform you're using, it totally depend on it, like whether it's a light blockchain or it's a heavy blockchain itself, and depends on how many nodes you have it in the market. Consult the official documentation for your chosen platform for detailed instructions and best practices for running blockchain nodes in Docker containers itself. So that's also most important. So I hope I am able to make you understand about the blockchain. This is one of the favorite topic where I have already prepared the content on Solidity. If you have gone through that series, that's far better. If you have not done it yet, please go through that Solidity series itself, where I'm just trying to get it explain you about how to make the code smart contracts from scratch itself. Each and everything I'll try to get it covered over there itself. Later phase itself, definitely you will see couple of series related to the Solidity, or might be possibility other sections for a blockchain. I'll try to make the content on it. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel. And this is just a thing where I just wanted to explain you about it. What are the other possibilities? Like in this series, I'll try all the possibilities. What are the different type of possibility which we can try it on a Docker itself. So blockchain is one of the thing, GenAI is one of the thing, red teaming lab is one of the thing, blue teaming lab is one of the thing, how to do the pen testing, it's one of the things. So everything, whatever the possibilities over there, so I try to make the content on it. And it's not so easy itself, as not lot of resources available in the market itself, but I try my best to make the content as per the need. Even if you feel like after seeing this video the content is not so appropriate, please let me know about it and provide the reference for it. I'll try to make the more content on it. Okay, thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.